Welcome to Basically Sci-Fi, the short story podcast with stories you can basically call sci-fi. My name's Todd.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jared.
This week, I've got a story for you that I wrote last night.
Ooh. Nice.
I also happened to write the night before.
Well,
it's what we call the writing process.
Yeah, I wrapped it up last night, which is always good advice.
There's nothing like a deadline to really get you to do a thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I did have the opportunity to run it by my harshest critic, Tomo, who never likes anything that I do.
I thought you were going to say your dog.
My dog. No, she will.
She's
pay
always
attention.
silent. She doesn't ever give criticism.
She's just listening and absorbing the information, you know?
Till she gets annoyed and walks away.
Yeah. But for the last 3 weeks or so, since I started writing this story, I've kept teasing Tomo, saying that she's been writing all my jokes, and she's like, "No, I did not write that. It's not me." Like this.
Not responsible for that.
This story is like a collection of jokes that over the past couple weeks, like, have either just popped into my brain or Tomo has said something that made me think, like, that's funny. And then I cobbled it together into a story, but I'm actually pretty stoked with the way it turned out.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I still got my outlines and whatever, like I wrote like a proper story. But it was originally conceived as just a series of jokes, so slightly different from my usual writing process of starting with just like a blank slate.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah.
You write a whole thing for one joke? It's like next level.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody fucking think of a joke and then they like wrote the whole Guardians of the Galaxy movie or some shit like that? Oh no, I'm sorry. Tim Gunn thinks of the soundtrack and then he writes the movie.
Well,
James Gunn.
Someone started a joke and then poor Robin Gibbs spent all night crying.
Robin Gibbs. Who's that?
I'm gonna cut that. That was a dumb joke. Anyway. But yeah. There's a couple in here that are just jokes that I absolutely just crammed in.
Nice.
And yeah. You guys can tell me later how natural they felt.
Can I take a guess now?
I'm gonna roll for natural.
No, sure. Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna say they're gonna be real forced sometimes, and other times, I don't know, maybe not so much.
Well,
I think they're gonna be real funny.
I kind of spoiled it by saying that I feel like I did a good job, so, my opinion is that they feel pretty natural, but you guys can let me know, because when I ran them by Tomo, A, she's like, I didn't write that, and B, she's like, I don't get it. So, here we go. This is called, the title of this story is The Tale of Rupert the Pervert.
Ooh. You had me at pervert.
At the relocated Galactic Society of Friends, the seat of all power in the universe of limited possibilities, where an alliance of alien races had gathered for the sole purpose of submitting to the cosmic horror known as the Dark Lord Edith, it was business as usual. The ball pit was rockin', the laser tag arena was absolutely lit, and the escalators were all set to maximum overdrive. But the latest craze among the interns of the society was curling. A couple of rapscallion interns had gotten really into curling back on the mostly melted ice planet Jurgle 9, and decided to bring the sport back to the society, where they would additionally have the benefit of a nearby yellow sun, allowing them to completely dominate the competition. The construction of the curling rink was accomplished mostly utilizing the ice giant interns, who were technically slaves, but given the title of intern so as to not accidentally create a position lower than intern in the hierarchy of the society. The Dark Lord Edeth always murdered anyone considered to have any kind of political or authoritative power, preferring only to deal with the lowest ranking members. Therefore, the society had only two ranks: the interns and the supreme guy in charge. "Hey guys, can I play curling with you?" the Spermartian intern called out. "No way, get out of here, Rupert." "Yeah, this curling rink isn't for perverts." "I'm not a pervert," Rupert the pervert said. Rupert slunk back to his office, muttering and wiping tears from his eyes and cry snot from his lips. He sat at his desk and laid his forehead down directly on his keyboard. He then cried like a bitch for 27 minutes. This was a typical behavior among Spermartian males. Spermartian male physiology is unique, not necessarily because they have 9-foot-tall, lanky, pale white bodies, but because those bodies never grow old or die. They can only die if killed by physical violence, or lose their life upon their first ejaculation. The fear of death makes breeding difficult, and causes Spermartian males to generally disregard females, and focus their energies on scientific pursuits or business endeavors. Thus, the Spermartians were one of the few species to develop space travel capabilities without the assistance of Earthlings. On the planet Sperm Mars, males are spoiled and coddled and lavished with gifts. Their every need, demand, and whim is usually immediately met by eager females of breeding age. As the former president of the Spermartians, Rupert was no exception. Sure, Rupert was brilliant, gifted, intelligent, sensitive, and handsome, but that didn't really make him any less of a bitch. Perhaps because he had been so lavished with praise as a young president, he was incredibly poorly prepared for life as an intern at the Society of Friends.
I can understand why Tomo didn't want writing credit in this, though.
Yeah.
But it's also funny!
His only governmental experience before becoming president had been as chairman of the Spermartian Department of Poetry and Karate, which would have been the beginnings of a fine career in politics. But without even submitting an application for candidacy, Rupert was elected president after images of his brain bulge began circulating on the internet, and he received 100% of the female Spermartian vote as a write-in candidate.
You gotta have a big brain.
Yeah. 26 minutes into Rupert's cry sesh, there was a knock at his office door. Rupert didn't answer, but he did cry a bit louder to let the knocker know that he was busy. Undeterred, Rupert's only friend at the society, Fur, rolled in. Fur is a perfectly circular Hippolaxian female, a trait found highly desirable by Hippolaxian males. So she reached her position of power in a similar fashion to Rupert. But Hippolaxians don't die when they climax, so Fur slept her way to the top of government. "Hey, loser, what you crying for? You don't like girls, so I assume it's not a breakup," Fur said smugly. "Oh, hey, it's just you, Fur." "No, just the usual stuff. The guys said I couldn't play curling with them, and then they called me a pervert." Fur rolled around excitedly. "Whatever. Me and some of the girls rented out the curling rink later today, so you can come play with us if you want. I promise we'll go easy on you. No, I don't think so. I was gonna finish up my notes for my presentation to the society. I'm having second thoughts, though. You know what? Yeah, I'll come play curling with you. Oh no, you don't. As much as I would love to roll all over you, I'm not gonna let you use that as an excuse to get out of doing your job. What's your presentation about? Well, I had this idea in my head for a while, and... No, never mind, it's stupid. If you say that one more time, I will leave the room and ignore you for the rest of the day. Okay, fine, I just thought... You know how Edith hasn't been seen in a while? Like, at all? For years? I think he might be dead. What, did you kill him yourself? My hero, what a good boy you are. No, I think maybe when Vin shrunk the universe, maybe Edith was like out there on the outer ridges, and maybe he got sucked up in Vin's transgalactic pipeline and pulled into the black hole at the center of the universe where planet Zen used to be. I don't know. Fur rolled right up next to Rupert and looked him straight in the eyes. You think it's stupid, don't you? Rupert said, trying to avoid further eye contact. Someone had to say it eventually. I'm just surprised it's you. Thanks? You were going to finish writing those presentation notes, and then tonight at the interns meeting, you are going to give the hell out of that presentation, and I'll be the first and loudest one cheering in support. Wow, thanks! Yeah, I can do this! Okay, and while you write your notes, me and the girls are going to go do some mud curling.
Mud curling?
What? It's like curling, but we all wear our sexiest micro bikinis and roll around in the mud. Okay. Try not to die thinking about it. Later that evening, with a stack of papers held in both arms, Rupert made a dash for the Galactic Senate Hall where all the interns were meeting. He made it just as the bell was ringing, and the intern in charge of keeping attendance shot him a nasty look, but they decided not to make a thing out of it, and Rupert just waddled through with his stack of papers toward his seat. Presiding over the meeting was the supreme guy in charge, Yoayuki, in his cool, floating Senate seat. He definitely noticed the stack of papers being carried by the Spermartian intern, because it was rare that any of the interns attempted to work recently. Ever since the body had decided to just follow along with Vin the Purple Pirate and his black hole plan, no one wanted to make any suggestions because how are they supposed to top that? Most meetings of the Society of Friends were done in a matter of seconds, with Yoayuki calling the meeting to a start, asking if there was any business, and then closing so everyone can go back to playing laser tag, gambling on the laser arena or the laser slots, or throwing down in the ball pit. This biannual meeting of the Galactic Society of Friends is called to order. Is there any business that needs to be addressed, or can we get this over with? Yoayuki said. Rupert raised his hand meekly. I. Welp, if there is nothing to talk about, this meeting is... Wait! Came a voice from the seat of the Hippolaxian embassy, which was obviously Fur. It seems the Spermartian intern was trying to get your attention. If he wants my attention, then he can speak up. This completely insensitive remark caused a commotion among the Aeselians, a people born without mouths and any oral language, but use their hands to communicate, who chucked their desk up over the balcony and onto the Senate floor. Wow, Yoayuki, that's cold, Fur said smugly as possible. Fine. The Spermartian can speak, and the Aeselians will be assigned a translator. Hop off of my squid dick. This is your chance, Fur said to Rupert with a wink. Rupert cleared his throat. Okay, thank you. As all those gathered here have undoubtedly noticed, we have never been murdered by Edith. I, for one, find this extremely disturbing. The recently instated intern from the Asphyxian black hole dimension wheezed out. Yo, you hear that? This dude thinks it's disturbing that we've not been murdered. What an asshole! Everyone was already booing poor Rupert. Oh, come on, let me finish. I find this disturbing because this society was founded with the purpose of either defeating or submitting to the Dark Lord Edith. It's been 5 years since anyone last reported sighting the Dark Lord, and I believe this warrants further investigation. You know what I think warrants investigation? This guy's name is Rupert the Pervert, and I think we should all know why that is. The biggest, buffest rat-scallion intern shouted out over Rupert. Oh, come on, that's completely irrelevant. Yeah, but it's funny, the rat-scallion said as he activated his holo projector. The holovid showed a scene recorded 2 years ago on society security cameras. In the scene, a group of interns, having just finished having a blast at the laser bouncy castle, were shown chatting merrily, with Rupert standing awkwardly behind the rest of the group. Man, that human intern, Jonathan Garfield, he's such a dick. Can you believe what he said? Oh my god. Right? And how about that supreme guy in charge? What a dick.
Well, he's
Yeah,
gonna love that.
and how about that bum intern who's really just a janitor, told me not to piss all over the men's room floor? What a dick. Like, get out of my face, man. Rupert then attempted to join the conversation, even though none of the other interns had even acknowledged his presence yet. Right? So many dicks in my face, and you know what they say, when you got wieners in your grill, have a barbecue. All the other interns took a step away from Rupert. Okay, pervert. The video abruptly cut off. Why do you have that? Rupert asked with all sincerity. The holoprojector was turned off after this, and all the interns gathered at the Senate began to boo and or chant, Pervert, 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 Rupert the pervert. You know what? Rupert shouted. I've had it up to here with being called a pervert. Look, I took a chance. I put myself out there and said something because I thought it was funny. And sometimes you have to take chances like that. And yeah, sometimes you fail and say something that wasn't funny. But I thought it was funny, so I tried. And that's more than any of you can say. So are you going to continue being cowards? Or are you going to give this a shot? E-Death is dead. We need to disband the Society of Friends and start living without fear. There was a brief pause as the interns of the Society processed what they had just heard. Fur, nodding slowly in approval, shouted, He's right! He might in fact be a weird pervert who doesn't like girls, but he's not wrong. Disband the Galactic Society of Friends! Disband! 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 The interns, who were apparently just in a chanting mood today, followed along with the chant of disband. With this much pressure, the guy in charge was forced to intervene, lest all his supreme power be lost in the heat of the moment. Hold on. It's true the Dark Lord hasn't been seen in a couple of years. But unless everyone here is willing to bet the lives of their subjects back on their planet, I suggest we not act rashly. I hear the Spermartian's thoughts and agree with him completely. An investigative council will be formed to look into the location of the Dark Lord Edith. Naturally, Yoayuki said with a smirk, this council will require a lead council member. Are there any volunteers? The collected interns gasped at the suggestion. Lead counsel would be a new rank created in the hierarchy of the society. Should the Dark Lord not be dead, whoever held this position would surely be killed. Yoayuki thought the idea of holding any kind of responsibility would put to rest any discussion of change to the hierarchy. But he was mistaken. Proudly, all 9.5 feet of Rupert stood and shouted out to his fellow interns. I've known my whole life that I was destined to die. We Spermartians live a life of service to others, with the very act of giving life requiring sacrifice on Sperm Mars. I will gladly accept the risk, and even trade my life if I must, so that others may live. Fur was about to have the Hippolaxian embassy make a formal motion to have Rupert's nickname revoked and replaced with the Hero, when suddenly the towering double doors of the Senate burst open with a loud, "Ha! Boom, baby!" Cheers turned to screams of horror when everyone realized who had penetrated the society's defenses. Cuck the Conqueror and Perdue the Ratscallion Alchemist stood waving jazz hands. Instead of making her formal motion, Fur quickly activated her chair's defense mechanism, as did some of the more alert interns. Chairs were quickly enveloped one by one in the most powerful energy barriers money could buy. Every chair in the Senate was equipped with such a barrier, except the supreme guy in charge. When she had a moment to catch her breath, Fur finally looked back at where Cuck, Perdue, and Rupert were standing. "Rupert, no! Don't be a hero!" It was too late. Cuck's massive bird fist burst through Rupert's chest and out the other side. To be continued.
Man, he didn't even get to die in the usual way for his people. That's
You don't know that. Maybe that's what gets him off.
that's very true. The next panel in this story could be like a big old white stain. Maybe they die when they do that because their whole body is full of sperm. They don't have blood. Who knows? Space science.
Yep.
Space isn't science.
No.
It's art. And sometimes with art, you gotta take a chance.
Yep.
No, I like that. I like that little speech he gave. That was very nice.
Yeah. That's good. I was intentionally going for likable, you know?
Aggressively likable. I love it.
Yeah.
Also, the jokes did not feel forced or out of place, in my opinion. I think they were naturally tied together.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But again, I can definitely see why Tomo didn't want to take credit for them.
Yeah. So she's taking college classes right now. She's gonna graduate pretty soon, and she's reading her psychology textbook, right? And in it, she comes up to me with like, "Oh, I learned a new word. It's spermarsh." And that's when a point in a boy's life where they first ejaculate, usually in the form of what is colloquially referred to as a wet dream, right? And I'm like, ooh, spermarsh. Yeah. Spermarshin. That's... And so, instantly in my head, the entire concept of the Spermartians was created. Like, it just came to me after that. I'm like, thank you, Tomo, for writing that joke for me. And she's like, no. No.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, see, now everyone gets to learn a nice little vocabulary word they can use every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. It's gonna come up so often now.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
Be like, so I was having my spermarsh.
But you're 36.
I'm 35, but okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, thanks. Yep. So that's one of Tomo's jokes. But no, that one and the wieners in my grill, so have a barbecue. That has been a note that I just had in my notebook for like a year. And it was something that my note says Sylvester Stallone voice next to it, and I can't remember because it's been a year. I'm like, why did I think it was funny if Stallone was saying it? But anyway, I couldn't remember that, so I left that part out. But I've been wanting to just include that joke for a while and turned it into a really inspirational moment.
Anti-bullying PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got wieners in your grill, kids, just have a fucking barbecue.
Yeah.
And that's like a weirder version of like when life gives you lemons.
Yeah,
Jake.
yeah. I think that's originally what it was, but I was like, what? It's been in my notebook for so long that I can't really remember why I wrote it down.
But in this case, it's like, oops, all dicks.
Yeah. So the idea of him awkwardly trying to enter into a conversation that he's not a part of and saying that line, like, I tried to work that in without, like I said, without just cramming the joke in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, this time around, I'm surprised at how rational a lot of the Senate was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the guy's like, I have an argument point to make, and then they're like, pervert, and he's like, no, listen to my argument. And then they listen, and they're like, he's actually right. Like you're taking like a note from Jared's book here, like, they're reasonable. Argument reasonable. No need to argue.
They're all former kings and presidents and stuff, so they, I assume they have some degree of intelligence.
You don't need intelligence to be a president.
Yeah. I think we've proven that.
You don't even need dignity.
In our 4-year social experiment.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening to Tomo's series of jokes that she wrote.
Yep. Thanks, Tomo, for writing another episode for us.
Thanks so much, Tomo.
Yep.
Real funny.
Like, comment, subscribe, Discord. We got, SoundCloud. If you guys haven't listened to that, it's a more convenient way to listen to the newest stories. And then if you want to listen to the entire backlog, it's all on YouTube in a slightly less convenient form. Make sure to check that out. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you later.
Bye.
All right, later.